Hello. Hello. Welcome back to Meet with Pi. We are back to our country that is not very bright and sunny like we did last week. Um, yeah, actually it was hot like last week in London, but kind of like it doesn't matter to me. But when I come back, it's like really grim and rainy like it used to be. So it's like so good to feel like at home. I just miss this like really horrible weather. It's amazing.
Yeah, I miss the weather a little bit as well. Although it's supposed to rain for the next 6 days straight in Dublin. So I don't know how much I missed it. But well, we're back to it anyway. And welcome everyone. I hope you missed this.
Yeah, right. Today we have a lot of news, and Lace actually did like dig up a lot of news in Python. So I would just let her go through it and sit here to chill for a bit, and then we'll have an interview with Nina, because
Mm.
she's well, she'll be asleep right now. Actually, like I think we need to talk about that after the program. Maybe like we're thinking about maybe you should change the time so it could be more time zone friendly for people from America. So, and
Mm.
do you want me to share the screen so you can talk us through it?
Yes, I think that would be cool. Yes.
Just give me one sec. Let me prepare the link. Actually, I could just like share this. Wait a second. Right. Okay. So, yep, you can see a beautiful note here. So, by the way, if you want to get the note, you can see it from here. So, if you want to get this note, please, go to this link, and you'll see this beautiful note with all the link there. You can go through it together with us. So, but otherwise, without further ado, I would just like go to the first news. So, this is PyPI. What's going on?
Yes. So PyBay had a conference. So PyBay was a conference that went live this weekend. So the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They had some really cool talks all over the shop. It was really interesting. I couldn't be there on the first day because it was my birthday. But then I was there on Saturday, and then Monday they had a really cool job fair, and to end everything, they had two really interesting workshops. Um, and it was a really, really, really interesting conference because, like, if you go back to the top of the page, there you can see that they used this different. I think it was Remo that they used to host it, and you can see that they had the actual conference halls and the tracks and all the tables, and you could join people on different tables for the workshops, and it was a really feeling of conference walking around. So it was quite interesting, especially because of the interface. But the talks were also really interesting. There was a really, really good talk from one of the developers from Raza, and she was talking about the new GPT-3 technology and how to use that on your project, and some like good things about it and some bad things about it, some really difficult things about it. And I think that was one of my favorite talks of the day. So yeah, that was really cool.
So you click on these kind of things to go to a table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like we actually I'm thinking about like a virtual conference VR could be a very good startup idea. So
Mm.
basically, you can like walk around, cause kind of like playing Wii Fit Adventure and things like that. Then you can go there. And hello, Jumac. Pi Bay, yes. Oh, have you been to Pi Bay, Jumac? Yeah.
He was messaging me on Saturday night saying, "Are you there? The conference is really cool. Why are you not here yet?"
Right. So yeah. So we could. Very interesting. They start to talk at 5. Is it local time for me? Like
No, so
5:45.
that's Pacific time because it's the Bay Area in San Francisco, so it's Pacific time.
But they all started in the afternoon. That's very interesting.
Yes, yes. For us, it was the afternoon because the page shows the time for your local time.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm asking. Because like
Yeah,
it's very strange, but well, I guess that works if you're not having much thing in the evening.
yeah.
So,
I
but
really
that
want
was
to.
last week, right? But like it's last week. So
Yes.
Sorry, folks. Okay. So next thing
Then
is
for the future now,
yeah.
we have, yes, that was just my impressions on PyBay. I just wanted to say that was a really cool conference. Then after that, we have news for today. So PyCon India extended their CSP, their call for proposals until today. They're preparing. It seems that like they're preparing quite a cool event for everyone. And the proposals, they have a few specific subjects for proposing talks, and they also require you to record a video and to prepare your slides and update it. But it seems like it's going to be a great event. Have you submitted yet, Chuck?
Well, I've submitted, but I'm not going to upload the slides and the videos because I want to keep it as like as the premiere in the conference. So yeah, I have
Okay.
mixed feeling about like uploading like things because yeah, I think like usually a proposal is just like you written all these things, kind of like a plan. So I think for slides and videos, I don't think like yeah, it will be ready.
But well, you submitted as well. You submitted already, so that's good. Cool. And then more news for the future. Uh, the PSF is looking for people that have been contributing to the Python community to be nominated as a PSF fellow until tomorrow. So if you grab the link on our document, you can go there and find the link as well to indicate the person that you think it should be nominated for a PSF fellow.
So
Uh,
this is Q3, right? So they do it actually per quarter. So this is for Q3 this year. So
okay.
yeah, there's like 4 quarters. So yeah, if you have anybody who you think is suitable, then you can do that. And we have like actually a few friends in this list here, which is very good. Yeah. Um,
We do indeed.
yeah. So well, sometimes there's more, sometimes there's like less. So I think yeah, it's not like there's no competition. I think it's just like if that person fulfill the criteria, then they would be rewarded. So please nominate. Like, don't be tight. And yeah, okay. Next
Cool.
one.
So yes, and then we have some news from the PyData world. That is not necessarily PyData,
Oh,
but it's Python and data related. So there is this new consortium.
so you're not talking about Django, right? Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we need to talk about Django. Sorry about that. Let's go back to
No,
Django.
no, no, no. We can go back after this.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
just lazy.
You're never lazy. I don't know why you say this. But anyway, so there's this new consortium for Python data API standards. So basically, what these people are trying to do, so the name of the people that are consortium is the QuantSight Labs, and it's a junction from TDK and Microsoft and TensorFlow and a few other companies here and there, trying to try to standardize APIs for data science frameworks. So they're just trying to make sure that everyone builds APIs that attends to the same standards. And we're having a quick talk about this beforehand. And Chuck has a few impressions on it, right?
What do you mean? Like, I just think that yeah, is what about this like Consai Lab thingy? Is this a company or is this a yeah?
No, so I think it's like a public benefit division. So it's a bunch of people getting together. It might be a company model, but I don't think it's a company itself because everything is just open source related. Um,
Right.
yeah, so they're together trying
Well,
to build a sustainable open source future. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, the name sounds like they are actually some like financial fintech startup thing.
Mm,
Actually, like I think I've heard the name somewhere before, but I'm not so sure.
Quantight Labs. Okay. Yeah, so there is Microsoft and there is TensorFlow and there is our friend Zuckerberg over there. There is a little bit of a hand of Google there as well. Yeah, there's a few people with a lot of money in this, but well, I tend to think that standardization is
Yeah,
good.
because Quanzai is the company behind this, right? So not so sure about like yeah yeah.
Um,
So I think it's like a spin off from a company, and then they have this project that they kind of try to liaise different companies and maintainers to join force to kind of have a standard for how the API should work. So
yes.
yeah, so I think that's what it is, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So you have like we have TensorFlow, we have PySpark, we have Dask, and Pandas, and a few other frameworks as well. Everyone under Dash trying to standardize those APIs.
Right.
Yeah, news. That's it.
So the
Then,
Django link is actually is the one the same as above. So
oh, I'm
I'm
sorry
looking
about that.
at it's fine. No.
Well, the Django link is basically just saying that
Found it.
Django. Cool, you got it. Cool. So there is a few new release notes, and they are dropping some backwards compatibility from the 3.0 versions and before. So if you're a Django user, you might just want to check that link and make sure that before you update, you know everything that is being dropped and everything that is being updated. That's it.
Yeah, they are like supporting like more async function, which is cool. Yeah, you can now test in async. So
I remember Adam was talking about this with us when he interviewed, right? That they were looking for it.
yeah. All right. So PyLadies.
Yes, then we have a quick PyLady section today. So we have PyLadies and Women's Tech Makers in from Delhi hosting a show and tell meetup on the 29th of August. So if you would like to participate, there is that link and then the registration link over there. The PyLadies slash hyphen SAT brings you to a form. You can just submit whatever it is that you want to submit and wait for your answer. And it seems like it's going to be quite a cool event as well. To prepare some interesting stuff.
Right. So yeah, this is in IST. So yeah, so it'll be evening. No, actually like early afternoon. So yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Okay. So
And
and Naomi.
yes, last but not least, we have then PyLadies
So
Munich. Yes, hosting Naomi Seder. You know Naomi.
yeah.
She was our interviewee here as well once, and she will be talking about Python objects. She's the author of the Quick Python book, and she's the perfect person to talk about Python objects. We're big fans of hers, and we will not miss this event by anything in the world.
Yeah, I really like this avatar. I don't know, like, is it from? I don't think it's from her website, but this is really cool. I really like it. Okay, so right,
Perfect. So that's me. Those are all the news I have for right now.
right. So we are right on time. So I think now we can just sit back and relax and try to enjoy. I will share it again, actually, just to be sure that the video thing is working. So let me do some driving here and let's. I don't. Oops. Okay. Right. Please don't get frozen. Yeah, because like yeah, it's becoming super strange. And oops, wait a second. Yeah, I have to make sure that I've enabled the the audio. So, yeah,
Oh yeah. No
right.
worries.
Sorry, it's just like take a while to find the tab because I've opened so many things. Okay, right. Enjoy.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Lena, for joining. Thank you so much. And we have been talking about this for a while, and I'm super excited to have her here. So first of all, congratulations for being elected to be the PSF board. I'm so happy when I
Thank
hear
you.
the news because I think we kind of collaborate with the Python sprints,
Yeah,
the mentored sprint before. So yeah, so I'm super happy for you. And I think maybe at the beginning, so before I started the interview, so maybe you could let us know a little bit more about you. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Hey, folks. My name is Nina Zakharenko. You might follow me on Twitter at NNJA, or maybe you've gone to one of my Python talks. I've spoken at PyCon US quite a few times, as well as other Python conferences around the world. And I am a recently elected board member of the PSF, which I don't know, I still kind of can't believe it. I was really, really happy and excited to hear the news, and kind of means that I can uh, take uh, take kind of everything that I've learned about the Python community over the past few years and use that as an opportunity to help others join the community and get more involved and grow and build it. So all things that I'm very passionate about.
Yeah. So do you mind giving us an update about like what's going on with the PSF now? So after the elections, or maybe now you started to, be very busy because like to contribute in the PSF. So like, what would your role would be in there?
I'm still figuring it out a little bit. The things that I want to focus on are uh, making sure that the Python community doesn't splinter, even though we can't meet in person. So figuring out best practices and guidelines for virtual events. Um, as part of that, well, this started before I joined the PSF, but I am a co-chair for PyCascades Remote 2021. So it's going to be happening in February. I'm co-organizing with Seb, and we're both like really excited to figure out, what's the best way to get folks to interact and actually uh, feel like they're part of a community besides for typing in a chat box or watching a video, right? Because it's really hard. I'm
Yeah.
also joining the working group for PyCon next year, PyCon US next year.
Yeah, so yeah, PyCon this year I know is a little bit different. So I think the preparation now is just aimed to being back to normal, right?
Um, I think we're kind of in a place where we're exploring both scenarios. I mean, in an ideal world, it would be great to be able to meet in person. Um, but that's, we have to plan for a virtual event because we don't really know what the world is going to look like in the next few months.
Yeah, because I just had like a meeting with the EuroPython committee, and then we kind of really like the idea of having maybe a hybrid kind of even though things get back to normal, but like I
Yeah.
think there we explore a lot of like opportunity from the online format, and I think there's a lot we could learn from actually. So yeah, maybe like people love online as well. I don't know, I can't say for everybody.
I think that's true. Something I really liked about PyCascades over the past 2 years is the talks were always live streamed to YouTube. So even if folks couldn't participate, um, anyone in the world could watch the videos. And they even had a really nice quiet room where you could go and watch the live stream that was muted with captions. So if you just didn't want to be in a room full of people and you needed a little bit of time to yourself, there was a kind of an on-site hybrid version.
Yeah, that's always nice. Like the caption thing that you mentioned, that's also something that I really like. So yeah, actually, like there's someone just remind me there's advantage of having talk recorded because you can have a better quality of captioning.
Mm-hmm.
So I think yeah, like there's a lot of different things that I think we won't explore this before, right? When we have conference, we just every year we would do more or less the same thing. Maybe we can add in a little bit more, but we never think about the whole thing can change, like what we
Yeah.
do this year. So yeah.
And I think we're all still figuring it out, right? Like every conference uses its own platform and its own mix of tools, and there's no one thing that's like 100% nailed it just yet. But I think as the as our needs grow for a platform like that, we're gonna figure it out, and hopefully the tools evolve with us.
Yeah. So okay, I have to stop myself from being sidetracked from other things. So I really want to know that, like, actually, where are you from? When do you start at Python?
Yeah, so I started Python maybe around 2014, so 7 years ago now.
Wow.
2013, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the first job I had where I wrote any Python. Unfortunately, I was writing Python kind of on the side, and I was doing Java for my main role. So I'd worked as a enterprise Java developer for quite a few years before that. And I realized that I wanted to kind of stretch myself and learn a new technology, because the kind of roles that I was getting with programming Java weren't necessarily the things that I was interested in or enthusiastic or passionate about. So Python kind of seemed like the language that would help bridge that gap. And yeah, I would say that's mostly been true.
What would you choose, like Java and Python, if you have to choose only one?
I have chosen Python.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I learned Java in college, so.
Oh yeah, that's actually, I've heard this similar things, like people when they study they learn Java and then they discover Python and they kind of converted.
Yeah,
What
I haven't gone
advantages?
back.
Yeah, what things, like what makes you like Python more and kind of choose Python over Java?
It's just like really easy to write a program that does something. You don't have to compile it. There's a lot of tools and libraries available. There's this really rich internal SDK with a lot of libraries that you might want to use for anything. And then there's tons of SDKs and external libraries for anything that you might want to do. So it's pretty easy to get productive quickly. And with Java, there's just a lot more startup time.
Right. So you said that you learned, you started like doing Python in 2014, right? So do you like just jump into the community during the start, or do you just like kind of be more confident and then you start exploring? So how can you get involved in the community?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. At the time, I was working somewhere that let me go to one conference a year. And I'm a little bit hesitant to share this story because I don't want employers to not send their employees to conferences. But I decided to choose PyCon because I had heard really good things about it, PyCon US. Um, this must be 2013. I think 2013 was my first PyCon US. And I went, and at the time, I didn't really know much about community around programming languages. I had just started going to meetups, like tech meetups, because I worked at Meetup, but I joined Meetup because I found out about it through like not tech stuff. Like I knew about Meetup from a snowboarding group that I belonged to. Yeah. And so when I came to PyCon, I was really kind of hesitant about it. I'm like, people are going to make fun of me for being a noob. I hadn't really written much Python at the time, and I didn't really know what to expect. And everyone just kind of welcomed me with open arms, and folks were really encouraging, and, nobody made fun of me. But it was kind of the opposite of what I was anticipating. And that was my first taste. And then eventually I ended up quitting the job where I was writing Java to uh, teach myself Python over the summer at a program called Recurse Center, if you're familiar with it.
Actually, I have no idea. Do you mind
Now,
telling me more?
Hacker School, maybe? It's what it
Oh
used
yeah,
to be
yeah.
called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like a writer's retreat for programmers. And so I kind of took the summer off and taught myself new things.
Yeah, so that's quite quick actually. You just spent a summer and then you landed a Python job, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did have 4 years of Java under my belt at that point. So I kind of had all the structure there. It was just learning about, syntax and semantics and moving from compiled language to a dynamic one like Python. That kind of really broke my brain in the beginning of like, what do you mean? What do
Yeah.
you mean I don't have to say the type of, what it is, and the types
Yes.
can change, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, it
I
took me a long time to kind of figure that out.
I feel the same when I learned Python because I my background is a bit strange, a mix of like different things. But I did a little bit of programming in school.
Hmm.
I did not study computer science, but and then when I first did Python, I was like, this is so different from anything that I know before. And yeah, so I guess it's easy for you like when you already have experience. And but is it still like quite difficult when you try to like switch, kind of like a small switch in your career from developing Java to developing Python? Do you feel the pressure there like when you find your first job?
Um, not so much. I think because I was already kind of midway in my career, it was pretty easy for me to find roles. But I did say, I will say that when I was doing Java full time, it was really hard for me to learn Python in the evenings because I didn't have enough immersion, and the concepts, at least to me at the time, were so different that it took me a little bit of time to kind of pick up on it. And I didn't really gain steam in learning Python until I was able to devote like the summer to learning it. That's when I could kind of devote the time and immerse myself and really um, do a much better job with kind of picking up on the constructs. And after that, it was much easier.
So for viewers who kind of doesn't have like just started Python, do you recommend that kind of things to others?
Yeah, I would say that the other thing that really helped jumpstart my Python was solving a problem that I had. At the time, there were a lot of tech meetups in New York that were really hard to get into. They would fill up really fast, and I'd miss my alarm, or I didn't know when events were getting posted, or I wouldn't see the email. So there were some meetups that I could never get into. So I had this idea to build like a meetup sniper where yeah, I could like log in with my meetup account and say like which meetups I wanted to go to, and it would listen to the feed and then automatically RSVP me. So having a project that I was kind of excited about and interested in building really helped cement the learning process for me, and kind of helped drive it to completion in a way where I didn't, give up on the project. So
Yeah.
if you can't take time off, then figure out what to build, something that you're passionate about that can kind of help you level up your skills.
Yeah, I think that's like I think I resonate with that a lot because like every time I think I learn the most, it's like I want to really get my hands on something. So yeah. So okay, so I need to ask you a very difficult question. So what is your favorite Python conference? Because I know that you're involved in a lot, so it's kind of like choosing your favorite child.
Yeah, well, there are two. I will say that PyCon US is always my favorite, just because it means I get to see friends from all over the world that I usually just kind of see once or twice a year, and we all get together and swap stories and see how we're all doing. And I do like a lot of the smaller or the regional conferences, but it doesn't quite happen in the same way or at the same scale as it does at PyCon US. And then I also have a soft spot for PyCascades. I've been twice now, once as a speaker, once as communications chair, and then this third time I'm going to be co-chairing and organizing. So um, it's a really nice regional conference that rotates around Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver, so kind of the Cascades region of the US. And the folks who started it and have been organizing it for the past few years have made it a really high quality event where they care about diversity and they care about inclusion and they care about accessibility, and they've set a really high bar. So I feel pretty honored to be involved.
Yeah. So do you have any like very like memorable stories that you think that is worth sharing? That is like special just for like these two conference that you want to share about?
Well, I guess there's a lot of stories, but I went to Pie Cascades in Portland in February of this year, and I didn't really realize that would be my last conference for the next year or two. Uh, so it was a great event. There were really good speakers, and I got to spend time with people that I don't necessarily get to spend a lot of time with. And had I known in retrospect, I think I would have tried to be a little bit less stressed and, less hurried and kind of really been like more present there, knowing that was my last chance to see some of those folks and have that community experience in person.
Yeah, it's like, cause for me, a part of the conference experience is to meet friends and also spend a lot of time drinking. Cause I mainly go to the European conferences, and I don't
Oh
know whether
yeah.
it's a European thing or is it for because I was planning to go to PyCon US this year, but of course it doesn't happen. So is it like a big thing drinking after the conference in the US?
Not as much as it is in Europe. No.
Okay.
I went to a EuroPython in Edinburgh, and yeah, there's a lot of drinking that happened
Yeah,
afterwards.
and they
I
got
don't drink very much, so
yeah. Yeah, I know. I think yeah, it's mainly like a UK or European thing that people just spend too much time in the pub.
yeah.
Yeah, but I guess there's also other social opportunity in the PyCon in the US, right?
What's that?
As it, like when you got a lot of time maybe doing something in the evening with people to socialize and maybe
Yeah.
go out for dinner and kind of try to like connect with people.
Yeah, there's still a lot of folks who hang out at the bar
Yeah.
at PyCon, but I think it's less of a culture, you know.
Yeah. So it's not. I think people are behaving more rather than like drinking till 2 and then being really like can't attend the conference at 9 a.m. That's not
Yeah.
very healthy. Um, okay, so I think we can maybe talk a little bit more about diversity here now because of course like you're a female leader in the Python world. So what do you think about female leadership in Python? Because I know that in tech in general, it's kind of because of the proportion of the gender is not very even. So there's people always see that there's a problem in diversity in the leadership. So what do you think about like the Python community?
Well, to be honest with you, one of the reasons I was first drawn to PyCon was I looked around and I was like, wow, there's actually some other women here. There's actually some other people who look like me in the hallways, at the talks, and sometimes even giving talks. And to me, that was kind of a big draw because at the time that I went to my first PyCon, I had already spent a few years in tech. I had already dealt with a lot of discrimination, kind of both against my age at the time, because I started my career pretty young, and against my gender. And so to be somewhere where there was some representation of everyone, of different genders, different races, different ages, different levels of experience, I found that really energizing. And on top of that, to have all of these different people have one purpose in mind to kind of elevate the community and like wanting to be a part of something bigger than them, I found that kind of really, really amazing and really inspiring. And so I decided to try my hand at giving talks. And I think the first PyCon I spoke at was in 2015, maybe. I, I think I spoke at a JangoCon in 2014 and then kind of worked my way up to Big PyCon in 2015. And I was so nervous. I just spent hundreds of hours preparing my talk and practicing and all of that. And it's finally over. And, I realized that it was, after the fact, that it was a really rewarding experience. A lot of people came up to me afterwards, kind of saying that they related with the content, thanking me for speaking up about it. But several years later, I ran into Marietta, who's a core developer for Python, at a Python lunch, and she said that watching me give talks, and again seeing somebody who looked like her give a talk, inspired her to start giving her own talks, and that, I don't know, made me cry. I was crying at this
Yeah.
lunch. It was just so surprising and unexpected, and I think it's really true, that we need to increase the diversity of our community so that folks who are diverse feel comfortable participating.
do you think the support from because like you said, like Marietta, think that someone that's similar to you would step up to do something. Do you think that like this is the support that we need? We need to have um we are just inspiring each other, right? Because there's
Yeah.
something that so do you think that's like for someone, for example, a new like female developer kind of just started their Python journey, what advice you can give to them if they want to really be involved?
Yeah, I think PyLadies is a really, really good resource to get started with. Their Slack is great. They have quite a few folks in leadership who are really passionate and enthusiastic. And when I first started in tech, I kind of had this grumpy, I would say my first few years after getting started in tech, I kind of had this grumpy senior woman in tech syndrome where I'm like, why do we need things like PyLadies? Everything should just be open and equal, and we don't need this separate space. And now, after I've been in tech for a decade now, I can say like, yes, we really do need these communities. We need a space for others to have with folks that look like themselves, and a safe place to learn where nobody has to be worried about disparaging remarks or comments, and where people who are learning kind of feel comfortable stepping out of that shell and asking questions where they might not feel comfortable in this space otherwise. So I think PyLadies is a really great resource if you're first starting out in Python and you need support. It's a really nice community.
Yeah. So, what do you think the future would be like? Do you think that do you have any idea that like maybe we need to do some changes to make it more diverse, or do you like think that what we are doing well, we have to enforce it? Yeah.
I think we as a community can definitely make changes. We've come a long way from where we were, but white women are not diversity, right? And white women from the U.S. and Europe are not don't really represent a diverse piece of the pie either. Right now, there's a lot of really amazing up and coming Python communities in Latin America. There's communities coming up in Africa, and there's also a whole diverse uh, community of people from different races who are in the US as well. So we've kind of gotten to the point where, like, great, there's more women in tech, more women in the Python community. Chances are they're white women. So how can we apply all of those lessons that we've learned getting those folks in and better represented and apply it at a greater scale to a greater worldwide community?
Yeah. I just joined PyCon Africa, and I'm so amazed that like there are actually a lot of like really really good developers there, and we just can't like have stereotype and overlook this kind of up and coming region. And actually, I think it's good to give them more support because still they still have infrastructure problem. The internet is not good, so now is a challenging time if people don't have internet. So yeah. So, but
Yeah.
you're right. Like, it's not just white women or women in general, but like there's also other type of diversity that we have to really care about, I think. So I think that's
Yeah.
that's great. That's really good. So okay, so we have a little bit of time, and I know
Yeah.
that you have a Twitch channel as well.
Yeah.
So what do you do with your Twitch channel?
Yeah, so maybe back in March, I started live coding on Twitch about twice a week. Since then, I have not had as much time to do live coding, unfortunately, but I have been doing a weekly interview show called Python Tea. And I just switched the time to a more European friendly time zone. So now it's at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I've had some really, really lovely guests on the show. I've had core developer Lucas Longa. I've had Lorena Mesa, who's on the PSF and organizes PyLadies. Um, had Thea Flowers, who's a Seattle Pie Lady and does a lot of hardware stuff. So just kind of really awesome guests come on the show. And the whole point is that it's kind of like a hallway track. So folks hang out live with us in chat and they can ask questions in chat. And the topics aren't always necessarily about Python. I want to talk to folks about what they've been working on over the past few months, how they've been doing, what things are they excited and passionate about. And so not this week, but next week, Tanya Allard is gonna come and be a guest. I don't
Oh
have a
yeah.
calendar open, so
Yeah, Tanya is my one of my favorite. So yeah, and please check out Python Tea because first of all the logo is beautiful. I really love the little snake with the teacup. I've seen it on Twitter all the time and just love it. And really great that you changed the time. I'm also thinking about because now we are recording this interview because I know that our time zone doesn't really work. So I
yeah,
think maybe like I should also change maybe Pi this program to a later time, and maybe we should do some collaborations. I don't know, like it's like
yeah,
a tea party. That's what I actually talked with Lace, my other host, and like we was like, oh, like we have Python tea, we have pie, so maybe we should have a tea party. I don't know.
I would love to. Yeah, I need to figure out how to set it up for more than one person.
Right. So yeah, we can change notes after this actually, because I don't want to bore all everybody about like how to stream. But actually, I think it's a good idea to start the live coding that you did before, because I think Naomi also did a little bit, but I think she's too busy right now, 'cause, of
Yeah,
course, and yeah, it's a lot of devotion. It's not easy. So yeah, I think like I really have to say it's a really good job for bringing us programs. The Python T and all this streaming Python content. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I think that's about it for the interview. So thank you so much, Nina,
yeah.
and
Thanks for having me.
yeah, it's really great to chat with you finally. And yeah, we should really talk about kind of giving changing some tips on the streaming and everything. I have to actually like learn from you as well. I'm not very good at setting things up as well. So
Yeah,
um yeah.
Susan wrote an amazing article about how she got her OBS. OBS is open broadcasting software. And it's a software that you would use to live stream coding or interviews or whatever on Twitch. And she wrote a great blog post about how to get started with OBS on Mac, which really kind of took me to the next level.
Yes, yes. Okay, I need to really ask you for the link because I'm using Mac. So yeah, thank you so much, and I am sure that we'll see you a lot more on the conference and all the other things, and of course check out Python T. Or also get the link and put it in the description, and also our program note. So yeah, so thank you so
Thank you so
much,
much.
and um, see you. Bye.
Hello, welcome back.
Shit.
You're
I'm
muted.
muted and my camera just like freak out, and I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can see that my background is like very mystic now. It's like I don't know why it happens. It's just like sometimes the algorithm is a bit shy, and my lighting
Yeah,
is a bit shy. Because usually I need the lighting from outside to make it brighter, but now it's very dark outside, so maybe that's why.
yeah, it could be. It could be. Now, listen, lovely interview. She's so cool.
Yeah, she is cool. She is cool. And I feel like I'm now like in a sci-fi movie that my world is collapsing or something. Like my back.
I think that if you click on camera mic settings and if you like change the fading effects of your background, it kind of sorts
Yeah,
out a
but the thing
little
is,
bit.
like, if I change it, yeah, I think it's the light. Because like if I change it, then like I'll be semi-transparent as well. So it's super weird. And I think yeah, because the lighting, you can see like it's almost black for my blue screen. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's the rain. That's the English rain for everyone that is watching us.
Yeah, so that's the horrible weather that contribute to this strange lighting here. But anyway, so
In
we have
Istanbul, this would never
our
happen.
yeah, we have our PyPI highlight here. That let me share the screen.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh my god, my computer is like super slow. I think because yeah. Okay. Right. So what's this?
Perfect. So that is AI Fairness 360. So remember when I was talking about the workshop in PyBay a little bit earlier on? So the workshop was basically teaching us how to use Dash library. So it's not even a library; it's a toolkit. So it's a few open source libraries that basically help detect and mitigate bias on machine learning models. So you'd have when you train your model, you'd have like different. I did the workshop. I didn't fully understand exactly how it works. But apparently you have your models and then we're going to train them. You have a set of like weights, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can choose to work on the bias, on try to mitigate the bias on your machine learning model. And then depending on the procedure that you choose, you could just run that and it shows you like there is a training notebook, Jupyter notebook, showing you exactly the difference between a model that was trained. It was trained with AI Fairness 360, and another one it wasn't, and the level of bias that they're able to mitigate. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And then if you're interested on learning a little bit more, on that link there's guidance material, and there are plenty. I think there's 4 different types of techniques and 4 different types of notebooks that you can use and train your models and then compare it, and yeah, just play a little bit around it.
Yeah, so this is okay. So this is library that try to minimize the
Mm.
bias, but I just wonder what they do. Like, do they change the data or do they change the
So
models,
yeah,
or what's their approach?
there are different
Is
techniques for it. There is one of the techniques is called reweighting. So you change the weights on
yeah,
different parameters, I think, and then you analyze what's the difference on the output of the model on that. But yeah, I'm still learning it. I'm still going around with it. I just thought it was super cool. It'll be worth sharing.
yeah. I wonder how it would work if I have an imbalanced data set. Whether it would do some bootstrapping, like automatically for me for the minor group or things like that. But yeah, sounds interesting. Sounds interesting.
I'll let you know when I find out.
Yeah. Oh, there's a paper there. Okay. Cool stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So mine is just very simple. I like simple stuff nowadays. Like, 'cause yeah, like I found it like anything that's user friendly, I like it. So, um, so yeah, a cherry pie. I think it's not something new for me. I've actually used it a few years ago already. But what it does is just like it's a. I think they advertise themselves as a zero weight, um, kind of something like Flask, but super simple, super lightweight. And if you're doing something very simple, just want a very basic website, then you could do it with cherry pie. So yeah, it's I think I used it last time when I tried to output a report from my chatbot. So it's just a one page HTML. So this is as simple as I can get. So yeah, and also like it's got cherry pie, so that's why I like it.
What's your
The
name?
icon is super cute, and um, so basics, you can see that. So what you do is just like you add some decorators, and it will just and it's just like writing Python, and everything will work, and it's run on 8.0.8.0 on your local host. And yeah, if you are familiar with Flask, then this one would be just very similar. But this is I would say this is much easier. Like if you are doing something very simple, you just create an index, and then you just like log something in the yeah.
Mm.
Of course, you
Does
can have HTML as well. Sorry.
does it allow you to? Yeah, you're just saying that allows for HTML. Does it allow you to strap some CSS on it as well?
Yeah, I think so. It also deal with JSON, and yeah, I think it's just like very easy to build some like simple application with this. And yeah, I haven't used it like extensively. I only use it like for that page, and I want something that is as simple as I can get. So that's why I use it. But yeah, it seems that you can make a much much more complex infrastructure than just one page. And
Mm.
yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, and it's so yeah, it's just a very lightweight framework that you could use, and yes, so this is what I did, right? Just serve one single file, and then you can also use the CSS on it, but
Oh yeah, there is a CSS there.
yeah, but you can also like serve the whole website with it. So you can use JSON, then there's some like communication between different maybe you don't want to have a backend, so you could talk to that, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
Yeah, nothing much. So so what's going on now is that I think there was some discussion about whether how should you get started if you don't have education. So I don't know, actually I don't actually understand the question. Is it like without much education in Python or in computer science, or not much education in general? Well, I would say that actually I know people that doesn't have a degree, and they actually they just teach themselves coding and started a career. So I don't think that's impossible, but I think of course you need a lot of hard work to hey is that Luke? Is that
Hello,
Luke?
Terminal BB.
Hi. Yeah, so I just think that like nothing is impossible. It's just that you need to find the right way to suit you, right? You need to find um the materials that give you the experience, and it would be harder to prove yourself, like, to be honest, like compared to someone graduated from a very good university with a computer science degree. Of course you need to show more to convince your potential employer that actually you're capable in doing the job, right? But yeah, like maybe do some other studies. It depends, like you can do some online courses if you are very good at self-learning, if that works for you. If not, that you can actually check your local university. Well, now, like, of course the university also offer online courses, but maybe after COVID, if you want to, like, learn things traditionally in a classroom setting, then you could see if there's any other degrees or programs available in your local university. Yeah, I won't discourage anybody who want to start working in coding or in IT or whatever. Yeah.
There is, well, I know that I don't know necessarily if you're talking about
Yeah, there was a question in the
science.
chat.
Yeah, I just couldn't
And
understand if he was talking about IT in general, if he was talking about data science
yeah,
specifically. Because if it's IT in general, what I keep hearing about mentors is that from people that don't actually have experience, is that the most difficult thing that everyone is having issues teaching newbies when they come into IT companies is life cycle development of applications. So the whole how you work in teams and what is a Jira board and how to work with GitHub and all that bundle of things apparently is the most difficult thing to teach newbies. So what I keep hearing from senior developers is if you want to get into IT, just make sure you do a course on that and you learn that bit because that bit is quite difficult to learn initially.
I
And
would say that you can learn it on the job, right? So if you just started, you can get a more like a junior role that people don't expect you to have experience on those, or even an internship. Then like
they
you could
don't
start
expect
learning
it.
how to use Jira, Git, and all this stuff. You learn it on the spot.
They don't
So
expect it, but they say that it's quite hard to teach it. So they're saying that they're giving more. Yeah, they're
well,
giving
because it's a soft
preference to
skill, right?
people.
It's a
They're
soft
giving
skills.
preference to people that do courses on that beforehand.
I don't think you can learn it in a course. Those are soft skills that I think what they means is that is usually when they have new developers coming in, for example, fresh graduates, they learn a lot of things in school. They learn a lot of things like in the courses. They may have very good programming skills, but the problem may be because they haven't worked in a commercial setting, like in a team, and work with people in it. But I also think that every team has a different way of working, right? Working in a big company and small company, a more organized team or a less organized team will be different. Whether you're facing customer or whether you're facing internal stakeholders is also different. So I think, I think of course, like if you have work experience, that really helps, and work experience in this kind of software development setting, it really helps. But you need to start somewhere, right? So if you're new, then you just need to be be patient. Maybe you can, like, if some of the open source project, they have all these like ticket system actually on GitHub. It's not exactly the same as some company use, but at least you got some ideas. You can show people that you have worked in a team before with other developers. Yeah, it's difficult to teach because it's a soft skill. It's a soft skill.
And PR is like contributing to open source also helps a lot, or proving that you know how to actually do that, how to write your questions and how to merge a PR and things like that. So yeah.
Get used to the code review thing.
Yes, that's a big step, by the way. Oh, and Jurgen is saying that there is a sale on Python books, right? So a press is selling every book for $11.99, and there is some Python stuff, and it seems like it's very cool. So if you need some Python books, or if you need any IT books in general, a press, APRESS, they're on sale.
Yeah, get it while you can. Yeah, we like that, right? It's like share all the promo code, share. so like, if I don't know who is listening, but if you have something to offer, you have discount code. We are always welcome. We'll help to promote and give discount code. We haven't asked Ian for a discount code for his book last time. Sorry about that.
True. We're gonna tweet him now. Ian, would you like to give us a promo code to everyone that is watching Meeting Fire for next week?
Well, our good friend is also writing a book. I don't know whether we could disclose it, but you know who? Like, our good friend is also writing a book. Then maybe later when he publish it, then we could maybe have another interview and promo code and things like that. So yeah.
Yes. We're almost there. Well, perfect. So I think this is us for this week, right? Are you happy to be back?
Yeah, kind of. I'm still recovering, actually. Recovering to like start working and to be, sit in a not very sunshine setting and do stuff, back at home. So I'm still adjusting. So like, if you found me a bit weird, that's okay, because I'm still tuning back to the right frequency, I guess.
You're acclimatizing to the miserable weather. I get it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's it for this week. And Friday there will be another tutorial. Oh, yeah. So we may change the time or not. Actually, I forgot to update the schedule on Twitch anyway. So, but we will talk about that and announce it on my Twitter and on Twitch if we are changing the time anytime. So, yeah.
Cool. So it was lovely to see you all again. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you next Wednesday.
Yeah. Bye.
Cool. Bye.